Hi guys, my name is Isabella, and today I'm going to be presenting on Aruba. Thank you so much for joining me. This is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my entire life. I vacationed there about a little less than 2 years ago. So when I found out that I could sign up to present on Aruba, I was extremely excited because I wanted to share with you guys how much I love Aruba, so that you guys would love Aruba too. So these are some pictures that I had from my trip. In the top right corner, you can see me snorkeling. And in the top left corner, that's a picture from snorkeling. So we went on this like sunset cruise ship snorkeling type thing. And it was wonderful, a wonderful experience. We just got to the middle of the ocean, like a couple miles out from Aruba, and you could just go deep and see turtles and fish and beautiful creatures that you couldn't see, in the United States beaches water. And it was a wonderful experience. I really enjoyed it thoroughly. The middle picture on the top is our view from dinner one night. And then the bottom right corner picture is a picture of our resort. Obviously, we did a lot of touristy things on my trip, but I want to go back and do more things that don't have to just be about tourists, don't have to just be doing the vacation-y things. When I went to Aruba, I had every intention of just going on vacation, but when I got there, I loved the people, loved the environment, loved the island so much that I came home, did my research, and I wanted to do more. And I wanted to learn more, and I wanted to go back and explore more. So I was very happy when I got to present to you guys about Aruba. So today I'm going to be talking about first an introduction to Aruba. Then I'm going to be talking about the history of Aruba, the economics, the religion, and the politics of Aruba. Then I'm going to be relating Aruba to two texts that we read in our class this year. And then I'm going to be talking about the struggle that Aruba went through, over almost 500 years of a struggle. And then I'm going to be talking about my process for presenting to you guys today. So, Aruba is an island located in the Caribbean Sea. It's known for its dazzling white beaches, its desert-like landscape, its beautiful architecture, its beautiful art, its fun social scene, and its heartwarming natives. That's what drew me so much to it. The official languages are Dutch and Papiamento, but a lot of the people on the island also speak English and Spanish because tourism is such an important part of Aruba's economy. And obviously, the people that visit Aruba, a lot of them speak English and Spanish. The florin is the main currency for Aruba, but the United States dollar is also taken because, again, the tourists come and they don't know how to spend the florin, they know how to spend the US dollar. They use the Atlantic time zone to calculate their time. Their weather is usually constantly kind of windy. The highs and lows of 80 to 90 degrees every day, mostly rainfall between October and January. I was fortunate enough to go in April, and April was beautiful weather. We never really had any storms, and then when we did, they were for a little amount of time. So most of the days were sunny and absolutely gorgeous. And Papiamento and the national flag are very important to Aruba's culture. It's a symbol of love for the island, a connection to the Arabian Sea, and a multicultural composition of the population. The national anthem is played and sung on many occasions, and the Dutch flag is a symbol of the unity of Aruba, the Netherlands, and the Netherlands Antilles, which I'll talk about in the next slide when I talk about the history of Aruba. So, well, just to introduce, I'm going to be talking about the four aspects of identity that I chose to talk about. I chose history, economics, religion, and politics for Aruba, just because those were four things that I was interested in learning a little bit more about. So, for the history of Aruba, the Indian populations inhabited Aruba prior to the European discovery between 2000 BCE and 850 BCE. The earliest inhabitants were the Arawak Indians. In 1499, Aruba was claimed by Spain. And then in 1636, it was taken by the Dutch, which came briefly under British rule during Napoleonic Wars, but then was returned to the Netherlands in 1816. The economy remained weak until the oil refinery was constructed, and immigration from the Caribbean, the US, Venezuela, and Europe contributed to the population increase over the years. Then in 1986, Aruba obtained its autonomous status, and in 1994, it gained its full independence. So my main theme of this PowerPoint, this presentation, is to talk about Aruba's struggle for full independence, and as you can see from the timeline, they had a little close to 500 years of a struggle for that independence, which is something that I really want to focus about. And I chose to talk about history first because I wanted to dive into that before I started going into other things about the presentation. And I wanted a better understanding of the place that I came to love and the roots of the place that I came to love. And I wanted to see if Aruba was different from the history of the United States. And obviously, the history of the United States, they did not have to fight for independence for close to 500 years. Next, when we talk about the economics, the main sources of economics for Aruba are horse breeding, gold mining, oil refinery, and tourism. I'm going to be focusing mainly on tourism. A lot of tourists come from around the United States, around the world, to be completely honest, and the tourism provides multiple jobs for all the people in Aruba. You know, the people that take you to the hotels, the people that work at your hotels, the people that work at the resorts, the people that work at the beaches, the people that are doing the activities on the beaches, all sorts of those things. Those are the main source of money income that is coming in for the Aruban people. So my family and I going there, it's something that a lot of the Arubans are used to. You know, the vacations are bringing in the money for the people. Oil refineries used to be open before tourism became such a thing, but then they realized that tourism was their main source of income, so they started focusing more on that. The religion, most Aruban people are Roman Catholic, and in 1750, the first chapel came. Anyone is welcome. About 86% of the people today on Aruba are Roman Catholic, and that's what I am. I'm Roman Catholic. So I thought it was very interesting to find out that the people that I spent so much time with also celebrated my religion. Their ceremonies are very similar to those in the United States. Nothing that really stood out to me, but you know, the visitors are welcome at any parish, so welcome at any time. And I thought that this was very important because they're culturally diverse. They believe that everyone should feel comfortable practicing and expressing their own beliefs. Politics. Aruba is part of the Netherlands Antilles, and the capital is Oranjestad. The governor of Aruba is Juan Alfonso Boekdoet. Aruba has its own constitution based on Western democratic principles, and the King of Netherlands appoints a governor of Aruba who holds office for 6 years. Aruban parliament has 21 members, elected over 4 years, and the leader of the party who gains the majority vote becomes the prime minister. The current governor, like I said, is Juan Alfonso Boekdoet, and Aruba also has very strong ties with Holland, which is important. In 1986, they became a separate identity within the Kingdom of Netherlands, like I said before, but they are still part of the Netherlands Antilles. So I'm going to be talking about 2 texts that I want to connect to Aruba, one being Rio Grande de Loiza by Julia de Burgos. So Julia de Burgos was a Puerto Rican poet. Her writing, Rio Grande de Loiza, focuses on Puerto Rico. Rio Grande de Loiza is a river in Puerto Rico. Her writing focuses on the works and the struggles of Puerto Rico, her grief for the people living in Puerto Rico who also, like Aruba, struggled for that full independence. That's why I wanted to pick this text. It focuses on the struggle for full independence, just like the Aruban people had to struggle for their independence. And I wanted to relate this to Aruba's struggle for freedom. And I picked this quote: "Who knows in what rainfall of what far land I shall be spilling to open new furrows, or perhaps, tired of biting hearts, I shall be freezing in icicles." So this talks about the beauty of Puerto Rico, and I really wanted to show this quote because I think Aruba is beautiful too, and I wanted to go on about Aruba's beauty and their fight to be known as something separate from the other islands, just as Puerto Rico had to fight for its full independence. And I think Julia de Burgos does a beautiful job writing about Puerto Rico's struggle and her grief for the people of Puerto Rico, just like I wanted to express my love for Aruba and my grief for the people of Aruba. And the other writing I wrote was Writing Home by Kara Boyce Davies, who is a professor at Cornell University. Her writing illustrates the complexity of the Caribbean culture, which is something that I wanted to relate to Aruba because Aruba is so complex. It was so complex, you know, the almost 500 years that they were fighting for freedom. It was so beautiful and heartwarming, and the natives treat you like home. And I really wanted to relate that to this story. So I picked another quote. "Explorations of childhood and coming of age seem to be one of the stock features of Caribbean literature, and may be explained partially by the meaning of writing home. For in writing home, one is often putting oneself in the position of child vis-a-vis the Caribbean or African homeland household." So I wanted to relate this to Aruba again, because Aruba is so complex and so beautiful, and I wanted to relate it to home. The people of Aruba struggled for a home, a place to call home for so many years. And then finally, when they won their full independence, they finally had a place that they could call home and feel comfortable in. So Aruba's struggle, their natives are so kind. Aruba had to fight for the people they wanted to be. And when I went to Aruba, they were so welcoming and they had such a journey to success. A lot of the people at Aruba could be so rude because of all the heartfelt things that they have gone through, but no, they were kind, they were gentle, they were loving, and they wanted me to feel as though I was just at home when I visited the island. My process, how I did it. Well, I wanted to gather information right after I left Aruba. So I did. And then I started this PowerPoint. And I chose Aruba because I loved Aruba so much and I fell in love with it when I visited. And I wanted to go on and share my love for Aruba with you guys and make you feel as I felt. And the readings will help me understand the struggle for Aruba even more and make more connections as I go about how Aruba fought for so long and then finally gained its full independence. You know, struggle is beauty and the violence led to beauty. And although the struggle was hard, although the struggle was heartfelt and it was long, in the end, the people of Aruba have prospered and they are prospering now, especially from tourism, from the oil refinery, like I said before. My major is psychology, and I think that by learning more about the Aruban people, I can make this connection to me by saying, when I'm a therapist, hopefully one day, I can help others by understanding more people's struggles. By understanding more people's struggles, I can help more people express that everything will be okay, everything will be fine. The Aruban people really showed me that in the end, you will prosper and you will be happy. So thank you so much for listening to my presentation. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out. Feel free to email me, isabella.calvino@student.fairfield.edu. These are my sources, and I use SlideSco. Thank you.